What does a drought mean for you, and is the UK running out of water? Well, I've been having a look at what's going on. This, first of all, could well be what your part of the UK looks like right now. If you have a garden, your lawn might even be a similar colour. Of course, though, it is not just about grass being brown. Some reservoirs have been low on water, which is used to generate power or even treated and supplied to you. At this time of year, some of this is expected, but summer so far has been exceptionally hot and dry across much of the UK. Several widespread heat waves and the longest run of dry days in central England for more than 30 years. So when does dry become drought?
Drought is effectively a prolonged period of low rainfall, but there's not one universal definition. That's because the impact varies depending on the environment, the people, the businesses. But government generally declares drought by looking at a range of measures, so things like soil moisture and how farming is coping.
It's all these factors that the National Drought Group looks at when it meets. Let's give you some numbers. Only 13% of rivers are classed as normal levels for this time of year, and national reservoir storage is 5% lower than the long-term average. On rainfall, winter was very wet for England and Northern Ireland, and to some extent Wales as well, and that has given a little bit of breathing space. So far this summer, a few areas, including northern and western Scotland, have also been wetter than average, but many others have had a lot less rain than usual. In the driest areas, there has been less than 2% of the average July rainfall. We've also seen wildfires declared major incidents. When all of these factors lead to water supplies being affected and drought being declared, that can mean several things for you. A hosepipe ban. 7 water companies have one temporarily in place, impacting more than 20 million customers. Farmers have had to begin harvests early, with warnings of some crops failing and extra care needed for livestock.
No food for the cattle, the fields are bone dry.
We're on well water and the well's dried up, and we've got one spring going. I've been carrying water up from the local town up to help supply the cows and things. No, it's really getting really desperate for water now for the cows.
And that is not just a problem for farmers. Experts point to food security too, supply and cost, saying prices of grain often go up after a drought. Experts are also watching out for conditions similar to summer 2022. That year, the government's public health guidance was about the risk of dehydration, increase in infectious diseases being spread, and also poorer mental health, all as a result of drought. Drought can last for any length of time, according to the Met Office, from a few weeks to several years. In fact, one declared last year across much of England, Wales, and eastern Scotland officially ended just 4 months ago. So does rain always help end it? In short, no. For a start, some of the UK's rain hasn't really been falling on the areas that need it the most. Secondly, summer storms can bring short, heavy downpours. So hard, dry ground can't always absorb it fast enough, and that can actually lead to flash flooding. What we really need is a longer period of moderate rainfall so that water stocks can be boosted again, but for most of us, that isn't on the horizon. So what does the future look like? And let's go back to that first question that I asked. Is the UK running out of water? Well, on hotter days, demand for water goes up, a 30% increase on the warmest days in July this year. According to the National Drought Group, by 2055, England will need to find an additional 5 billion litres of water a day to meet demand. The question then is how? A report last year suggested our bills need to go up in order to deal with underinvestment by water companies in better infrastructure. To that you might say, well, your bills have gone up, while companies have been criticised for the likes of sewage spills. But 10 new reservoirs are getting money, and desalination is being explored as well. So that essentially involves treating seawater to help increase our supplies. Then there's what we can all do. A hose pipe can use 1,000 litres of water an hour, which is more than a family of 4 uses in a full day. So restricting them is seen as a key part of drought planning. And we can also keep a closer eye on how much we might be wasting too.
When people have a water meter, their consumption falls very considerably, from an average of 171 litres per person a day to 122 litres. So almost a 30% cut.
The UK is not running out of water tomorrow. But with climate change making summers hotter and also with growing demand, making sure there is enough of it in the future is becoming increasingly important.